Hi and welcome to everyone. This is going to be a video to my fellows who ask about studying English in Morocco. So I'm a graduate of the Faculty of English Studies in Morocco in Rabat, so I will talk about the faculty and the program. First, you need to go to flshr.ac.ma. So this is the home page. I recommend you don't click English. Don't do that because this is a link in the website and you will not have the required information. So we go on the main page, scroll down, Licence d'enseignement fondamental in French. So we click here, and then we have the list of the specialties that we can have. We scroll down until we have English Studies. We select English Studies, and here you go. You have all the description about the program. This is going to be in English. You can just copy and paste to Google Translation, and then you will see what it's about. So this is about the description, the requirements. The requirements are you need to have a high school degree that we call baccalaureate in Morocco, and an average in English, right? So here for the Moroccans you need to have 14 out of 20 because this is the grading system in the Moroccan schools and also in the Moroccan university. In the faculty it's the same thing. So the passing grade is 10 out of 20, but here the requirement is 14 out of 20. This is for the Moroccan students. And then anyways there will be a written test and an interview. Alright, so here this is for other people who have already studied somewhere, and then they need to get in touch with the administration and they will tell them what they need because there are specific requirements. Okay, specific. Okay, so here is the program. First, this is the first semester and second semester. So every year there are 2 semesters. First, second, third, and fourth. This means that this is 4 semesters, 2 years. Alright, so and this is also called the common core because after 2 years you will get an associate degree of arts, and then the third year is the specialty. Alright, in Morocco we call it DEUG, which means Diplôme d'études universitaires générales, which means General University Studies Diploma. And then you choose a specialty because after finishing these 2 years you can choose either literature, culture, or linguistics. For my case I studied linguistics. Anyways, let's check out the program. So for the first 2 years, the first semester you have comprehension and précise or précise. Précise means a summary or a concise summary. So this is going to be about reading text and making summaries. Writing paragraphs, so there are structures of how to write a paragraph correctly. This is what you will be studying. And grammar 1, I really recommend this very subject for people who want to become English teachers or for people who want to speak English properly later on. So this is going to be lectures by a professor in which you will have to scrutinize every grammar lesson. The tenses, the declensions, all what's related to grammar, prefixes, suffixes, and all what's related to grammar. Alright, and prepositions, you name it. Listening and speaking, so I don't need to describe what's in this subject. World literature, so this is just an initiation to different texts from English language literature, from Africa, from Europe, from the United States, from the UK, world literature. It's just about how to read, and this is not a big deal. Interpersonal communication, so this is about communication in English. The cool thing about studying in the English department in Morocco is that the whole program is in English, which is very good for foreigners. Me, for example, I studied in other countries and I all the time had to learn the local language, which was a hard thing for me. In Morocco you don't have that because the whole program is purely in English. But here in the 7th module or the 7th subject, there is langue et communication. This is French, and in this subject they will select you according to your level of French. So there will be a test about your French knowledge. So if you don't know French at all, you will be in the C1 group, in the A1 group, sorry, and and it's like that. If you know French very well, basically if you studied in Morocco, it does not mean that you know French, because most of my group mates or classmates at that time when I was at university did not know French almost at all. I'm talking about most of them. So don't be worried about that. Alright, so you will just have to study French. It's not a big deal. Most students don't go to these lectures, but I did not miss them because I was a serious student. Alright, semester 2, comprehension and précise or précise. is the same thing, English, basic stuff. Composition is about writing essays, how to write in the good structure, introduction, body, conclusion, concluding sentence, thesis statement, and the common stuff about writing essays. Very, very constructive one. Very necessary, especially for a person who wants to start writing in English and for somebody who wants to be an English teacher. Grammar 2, same thing. You scrutinize grammar questions, you discuss different grammar topics and exercises and practice. It's boring for most students, but I used to like it. Just drink your coffee, go there, ask a lot of questions, like let it be fun for you. Public speaking, very important thing. Basically, unfortunately, we don't have it at schools, but it was such a great opportunity to study public speaking. It really helped me gain confidence speaking to an audience and also confidence speaking English. We all make mistakes, but you just need to be able to address an audience, to be able to speak in front of people, to overcome your communication apprehension. So this is very constructive. In this course, you will just have to prepare presentations, come to class and deliver the presentation in front of everyone. So it could be very stressful, especially if it's like only the second semester, you're still not really good in English and you have the obstacle of a language and then your apprehension obstacle, which is pretty stressful. But if you overcome this, and I believe you will do that because there is no other way, it will really very constructive to you. So just my advice is just rehearse very well and go for it. Readings and culture, so cultural stuff, reading and discussing lectures. British culture and society, so there will be about the history, general stuff about the history of the British culture and how they live right now, what is their influence on the world, and etc. Language and langue et communication 2, which is like French. Well, I guess now they have other languages maybe. Well, don't bother with that, it's just French. Usually the teachers are so friendly. Not most students go to this subject because most students don't know French and don't put themselves uncomfortable. And there is one thing actually that is special about studying in Morocco, which is the compensation system, which is in case you don't validate, in case you don't pass one of the subjects, you can just compensate it by another subject, which is really a great thing. Like, let's suppose like we have two subjects, like this one, and you get 8 out of 20 here. So you cannot pass it. But in this one you get 12 out of 20. So we just count 8 plus 12, it makes 20. 20 split by 2, it's 10, so it is the passing average. 10 is the passing average. Is the passing grade. Like if you get lower than 10, you don't pass, but you can compensate, which is really great. So most students just compensate this subject. Alright, now we have the third semester, extensive reading across disciplines. So this is just reading, you take excerpts from different disciplines, from, different content, you just read it, discuss it, no big deal. Composition 2, how to write correctly, paragraphs and essays. Grammar 3, scrutinizing grammar. Grammar questions and issues and practice. Studies in media and cyberculture. So this is an introduction to how we can use the media, how we can take advantage of the media, what is cyberculture, what is cyberbullying, what are the dangers, what is like the advancement, and yeah, all around that. Culture and society in the USA. It's the same thing about the UK. It's about the USA, culture, history, what happened, what's happening, etc. Initiation to translation. So this is just translation. It's a lecture in which there are theoretical, explanations of the concept of translating, why is translating taught, how to translate things, and basically it's practice. So about translation for foreigner students, for translation you need to have 2 languages, and most students in Morocco translate from Arabic to English and vice versa. But for some students who studied in Morocco but they studied in French schools in Morocco, they translate from French to English and from English to French. And some other African students who come from ex-French colonies, so they basically studied French at school and they know French, so they opt for the option of French and English. But if you have a different language, Spanish, like you can arrange that in Spanish as well. But if you don't have another common language with the professor except English, then you can just get in touch with the head of the department and you get in touch with the professor themselves and you you solve the problem. Sometimes like they can just cancel this subject and you will not have it, but I wouldn't recommend doing that, because translation is a good way of getting a higher score. Alright, so you can just manage it with them, no big deal. Alright, semester number 4, Introduction to Literary Studies. So after semester 4 you will have to choose, like the third year you will have to choose a specialty, and that is why in semester 4 it's like you study a little bit of everything. You study literary studies, it's about literature. You study language and linguistics, so if you want to choose linguistics you will know everything. So basically you have to study all this validate it all, and then you choose what you want to choose, culture, literature, or linguistics. So, Introduction to Literary Studies for literature, advanced writing, because you need to keep practicing your writing, essays, and paragraphs and stuff. Introduction to language, so this is about improving your English, because you need to know about the language itself if you want to be a confident speaker of the language. Introduction to linguistics, so if you want to study linguistics, you will get the basic things about this discipline. Introduction to cultural studies. If you want to study cultural studies, you will know these things. And then the last, translation, which is the same thing, translating from one language to another, and then you get your grades. So this has been the explanation of the study program. If you have any questions or any comments or anything you would like to know, please let me know in the comment section, or get in touch with me on Facebook. I will just leave the link to my Facebook account in the description below. Give it a thumb up if the information has been helpful to you, and take care of yourself. Goodbye.